Hello everyone, I'm Ben. Welcome to my channel. I get asked sometimes, relatively regularly, about tips for starting to do finger picking. So that's what we're going to do. We're starting now. I'm not going to do a piece. I'm just going to do a couple of patterns that you can use as exercises to really get your finger picking chops up. I'm using a thumb pick. You don't have to. You can just use a bare thumb, or you can use a flat pick and you can hybrid pick it. I don't mind. Let's get stuck in though. So the pattern we're looking at is the one I was just playing in the introduction, which goes like this. Let's break that down into two parts. Whenever I think about finger picking, I think about my thumb as doing the bass line and my other fingers filling in the other notes, whether that's kind of chords or melody lines or whatever it might be. So let's start with the thumb, because that's the most important thing to get nailed down when you're trying to do these finger picking patterns, in my opinion. We're going to play this with an open A chord. Okay, so that's an open A chord. We can finger it like that. I don't mind, I normally just use two fingers. But what we're going to look at first of all is our thumb and where that is moving. So get your A chord down and then you hit the 5th string, then the 4th string, then the 6th string, then the 4th string again. That's the pattern. 5, 4, 6, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4. I hit a bum note there, but 5, 4, 6, 4. With a bit of palm muting, you get that. You've probably heard that before in various different songs because it crops up everywhere. Now the way to practice it, because it's the basis of an awful lot of the stuff we're going to be doing, the way to practice it is, well, certainly the way that I used to practice it is while you're doing something else, because you don't want to think about this. You just want it to happen without, without even having to trouble your brain about it at all. So what I would recommend is getting kind of used to playing it. Do practice it without doing anything else, but then once you're happy with that pattern, put the telly on, stick YouTube on, go through some of my other videos or all sorts of stuff. Anything you can do that will distract you from what your thumb is doing, but you can still dedicate enough of your brain to your thumb to allow it to keep going with this rhythm. All right? So that's your first exercise. Just do this for ages. Different speeds, practice for regular rhythm, practice playing loud, practice playing quiet. All the stuff that you would normally practice with anything, but what we're doing here is trying to build up thumb independence from the fingers and from your brain. That's your bass line, okay? It's a classic root 5 bass line because it's the root of the chord and then the 5th. So root 5, country bass lines, all sorts of stuff has that bass line. Let's look at the fingers, okay? So your thumb is going like this. All good, right? Your first finger sits on the G string, your 3rd string. Your middle finger sits on the B string, your second string. And then your ring finger sits on the top E string, your 1st string, okay? Those are the fingers we're going to use to play those particular strings, all right? Now, the first move, and I'm going to break this down into little individual movements that you can practice until we have the whole picking pattern set up, all right? We've got our A major chord down. The first move I want you to practice is going from the thumb on the 5th string, and then when you hit the 4th string with the thumb, you also are going to pluck the 2nd string with your middle finger that's already there. So it's like this. Just practice that. So it happens at exactly the same time. Okay, so your bass line is still going, but we're starting to add some kind of harmony and melody on top. So same as before, go away, practice it somewhere. You can wrap something around the neck if you like, so you can't hear it. You can just go. That's what I do quite a lot. Because what we're after here is not really the musical expression at the moment, we're just trying to get the muscle memory going, right? Once you've done that, next stage. So we're doing that. What I'd like you to do now is using your first finger, come in and hit that G string, that 3rd string. That's the thing you want to do. Again, practice it over and over. Slowly increase the speed. But that's the same movement, just going quicker and quicker. So you've got thumb, thumb 2, then index finger on the 3rd string. Thumb, thumb, and your middle finger, 1st finger on the 3rd string. All right, so you're going to go 5, 4 and 2, 3 in terms of the strings. I hope this isn't too confusing. I'm trying to cover all the ways people might refer to them. It might make it too confusing, but that's what we're after, okay? A string, D and B string, then you hit the G string. Next section. Once you've practiced that and you're comfortable with this, I've put chapters in here so you can kind of find it again, hopefully. So the next bit, then you hit the low E string. So carrying on from our bass line, right? That one. So we're going to build up. And I'd like to do that like that with a gap, so you still have it kind of rhythmically in time. Good. You're getting the hang of this now. I know it. I can feel it. So we're going to go like this. Now, after you've hit that low E string, we're going to hit the 2nd string. So let's just carry on with that. Rest. Rest. All right. Now I tend to palm mute when I'm doing this kind of thing a lot of the time because it helps control the ringing of the strings. If you're not sure what palm muting is, it's when you rest this part of your hand, the side of your hand, really lightly on the saddle there on the bridge, so that it stops it from being like this to this. I do it quite often. I just palm mute the low kind of 2 or 3 strings. Anyway, next note in our pattern. So we're up to here now, right? I'm going to tell you the next 2 notes because it kind of makes it easier to do 2 at a time for this last one. We're going to hit the D string and then the G string again. So you end up with this. Then have you got that? I'm going to play it really slowly once for you. So 5, 4 and 2, 3, 6, 2, 4, 3. So that's the pattern that launched 1,000 folk songs. You can hear it all builds on that, which is our thumb picking pattern, right? It's all built on top of that. All I did then was drop that finger off the G string there to make it an open G, so it's an A7. So once you've got that pattern down, which I'm sure you will have in no time at all, you can use that pattern for any chord where the root note is on the 5th string. And you can adapt it very easily for chords where the root is on the 4th string or the 6th string, which I shall show you in the next video. But for now, we're going to stick with that pattern, with root note on the A string, but we're going to look just at one more chord shape because it's really useful, and that's the C chord, right? So if you've got an open C chord here, classic open C chord. Now, you will know to get the 5, you know, we said about the root 5 bass line, which is the... To get the 5, so the 5th of the chord in C, there. In C, the 5th of the chord is G, which you find on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. Okay, so it's right below it on the string below. So what you have to do, because we want to leave our little finger, our pinky, free to do other stuff, which we'll come on to, is hop that finger across between those notes. So it's like this. The picking pattern is the same. Right hand pattern is the same always for this. Okay, so we can go 5, 4, hop over, 6, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4. And that is the next thing to really try and master, which is moving that finger back and forth so you can cover both of the strings, so you can get that root 5 picking pattern. I'll slow that down for you actually. So the right hand pattern is the same. Play with that. There's umpteen variations. You can add notes to it. You can change the strings you're hitting. But if you get that one pattern under your belt first, it will really make everything else a lot easier. And like I say, practice it while you're doing something else, so that you can just get the muscle memory. That's all we're after really at the moment, is getting your picking hand working, doing these picking patterns without you having to think about what it's doing. Because as soon as you start having to think about what your picking hand's doing, that's when it gets really tricky and really hard. So I'm going to play out on a couple of my kind of favourite things I like to play with this variety of picking pattern. I'm going to be doing more lessons, kind of introducing some slightly more advanced patterns and how you can adapt these to your own styles. So do hit like and subscribe, and I will see you again soon. So this is a piece. I say a piece. This is a kind of jam that I do with my friend Jimmy. We call it Smith and Brewer's Breakdown. We use it as a warm-up, but it's based around those kind of picking patterns, and it's like this. See you soon.